Hey, this is Jimmy. Who is this?
Jimmy, it's Al Pacino.
Ah, Master Thespian and an inexplicable friend of our show, Al Pacino. Good to hear from you, buddy. What's on your mind?
Jimmy, once again, I am befuddled by a news story.
Oh, yeah? Which one? I can't wait to hear.
Apparently, 30,000 people in North Carolina are without power after a terrorist attack on a power station that was intended to prevent a drag show. Jimmy, what is happening in this country? It's getting scary out there.
Okay. Okay, Al, slow down. The rise in anti-LGBTQ rhetoric is indeed unsettling, but in this particular story, we need to be a little more careful. Yes, gunfire aimed at the power station ended up disabling it, and yes, there was a planned drag show in a nearby town that was garnering protests, but there is no reason to connect those two, okay?
No reason, Jimmy, connect the dots.
Law enforcement does not know who committed the act, and no one has claimed responsibility. The idea that someone decided to protest a drag show by shutting down all the power to a huge area it's an internet rumor, and it's sort of preposterous in my opinion.
But that's what they said, Jimmy.
Who said that?
The internet people.
Yeah, like I said, Al, it's an internet rumor. Drag shows have been garnering a lot of attention lately, so people just jump to this conclusion without any facts.
Jimmy, do you realize how homophobic you sound right now?
Yeah.
Also, hold on, let me put my reading glasses on. Transphobic.
Al, what I said was neither homophobic or transphobic. Anyone who knows me knows that I've always been a staunch supporter of the LGBTQ rights.
Well, it just feels homophobic to say that.
Exactly. That's how people want you to think, Cal. Good work.
Look, I'm just trying to be on the right side of history. Honestly, I just don't want to get in trouble.
I think that's how a lot of people feel, Al.
Good, that means I'm doing something right. Why do you hate drag queens, Jimmy?
Jeez. I don't.
Come on.
I don't hate them. In fact, I love drag shows. I think they're hilarious, and I've been to a bunch of them. It's an extremely fun form of adult nightclub entertainment.
Back in the day, there was a club in the East Village called Tico's.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a drag night. Man, it was the place to be. One queen was named Miss Hellfire. Her act was beyond, man. She'd prance around dressed like a she-devil. And then she'd get some shy straight guy from the audience up on stage, a promising young Southern lawyer. Tempt him with demon women so he'd leave his wife. Promise him infinite power and pleasure on this earth if he would be her protege, until this poor guy realized the only way to send her back to hell was to blow his brains out on stage, and she disappeared in flames. It was crazy, man.
Al, that was the plot to your 1997 film Devil's Advocate.
Oh, shit, you're right. Never mind.
Were there any children at Tico's?
What?
Well, I said, were there any children at these drag shows?
What kind of a dumb fucking question is that? Of course not. Believe me, it wasn't for kids.
Okay, well, that's at the core of this whole issue, right? Lately, it's been a trend to encourage drag queens to go to schools and libraries and read to children in costume, as well as bring children to drag shows that are designed for children, but still drag shows.
I see.
I personally, I question whether this is necessary or a good idea. To some people, this makes me an irredeemable bigot. What do you think, Al?
About what?
About what I just said, Al.
Oh, man. This is the narrowest Pacino window I've ever encountered.
What's a Pacino window?
Jimmy, it's a term that I coined to describe a particular phenomenon that I've experienced more and more. The Pacino window is the amount of time between when you personally are presented with one of the most bonkers ideas you've ever heard in your damn life, and when you are considered a terrible person if you don't support this idea. The first one I measured was 2.5 years. For me, the Pacino window for kids at drag shows was about 10 seconds. Unprecedented. We are, as I have feared, approaching the Pacino singularity.
Oh, no, what is the Pacino singularity?
The Pacino singularity is when we start encountering negative Pacino windows. At one point, this was purely theoretical, but now I fear we may see a time when we will be considered horrible people even before we have heard of an issue or idea.
That is scary.
You're telling me? Even people like myself who are willing to say that I believe literally anything not to get yelled at won't be safe. We will be labeled bigots even in a state of blissful ignorance, like a man murdered in his sleep.
I'm afraid you might be right about this, Al.
This is extremely troubling. I will run my calculations again just to be sure, but that will take a few days. My supercomputer is low on coolant. In the meantime, I will be executing the Pacino Singularity Protocol.
What's the Pacino Singularity Protocol?
Complete isolation for people and knowledge. No human interaction. Don't learn fucking anything about fucking anything. It'll be like quarantine was, but without the internet. I've mentally prepared myself for this with meditation, but I fear I'm not ready.
I think you maybe are overacting a bit, Al.
Oh, yeah? What does your predictive model tell you, wise guy? Besides, that's easy for you to say. You don't care if people are mad at you. If we never speak again, I must say, it has been an honor.
Al.
To the isolation chamber. Ain't nobody gonna yell at Pacino.
Hey, we're doing live stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, December 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. And we're going to be in Tempe, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Nashville. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets. See you there.